Okay, the purpose of this entire video is just to get everyone used to how the SAS platform works and how to register for courses generally at the University of the West Indies Mona campus. Right, so we're just going to be working through that. Now, generally when you go to the student administration system, you'll see this entire area, right? So you need to click on enter secure area. All right, so it will take you to this page. All right, using this page, then you'll be able to type in everything that you would need. Right, so your username is usual persons that are just joining, and you'll be able to see personal information and student services. No, personal information generally, that's where you're gonna find addresses, your phone information, basically general personal information, right? And this is where you're gonna be able to vote in some guild elections, etc., etc., right? But that's not important to what we're doing here. So we're gonna be focusing on student services. Now, on the student services, you'll see a plethora of things, but for registration specifically, we'll go into, well, registration, right? And then we're going to be looking at the banner system, right? Add and drop courses. So when we enter this system, we're going to see these 5 prompts, right? Prepare for registration, view registration information, plan ahead, browse for classes, and register for classes, right? So some persons tend to go to plan ahead, so they can plan out each semester, and then when they go into register for classes, they can just, the entire plan can just be approved. But the generic way to go about it is probably through register for classes. So we'll just select register for classes here, right? And then we're gonna see this entire drop down, right? Semester 1, semester 2, just selecting the term that you want to register for. So here we can have, let's say, semester 1, and then we'll just hit continue. Now, I'm already registered for a couple courses, right? But let's look at this, right? So we have this entire setup. Subject, my bad, right? So the different subject that you're gonna be looking for right here. So you also have a course number, and you also have the campus, right? So as we know, UWI has multiple campuses. So let's say that you're looking for a course. Let's say we're looking for chemistry. Sorry about that, chemistry. All right, let's say we're looking for chemistry 1811. All right, something like that, chemistry 1811, and you're attached to the Mona campus. Then this is generally the information that you'll put in to find your course. All right, then you'll just search, and you'll be able to see all the arrays of classes now. Now, one thing I need to note, all right, we need to go through generally categories. We look at subject already. We know that this speaks to chemistry. The course number speaks to different courses. So depending on your course number, you'll get different courses. Then you have your title of your chemistry course. So this is Introductory Chemistry Lab 1, right? And then you'll have different sections that indicate different things. Right, but it's not really pertinent right now, and the CRN is not really pertinent right now either. But we have our campus as well. It's on Mona campus. The hours generally speak to the amount of credits we have though. Right, so it's a 2-credit course, so you're gonna see 2 hours shown. Right, then we're going to also see the fact that we have 52 out of 54 seats. So these are the statuses, right? So you're going to be able to see this. So 52 out of 54 seats remain basically means that out of the 54 seats that the class has, 52 are free. So the class is free to select 52 more persons to sit in. All right. And yeah, another thing on the status, you'll see also time conflict. When Banner realizes that you already are registered for a class that clashes with the time, it will tell you that there's a time conflict. When there's no clash, then it won't tell you anything, right? Because there's no time conflict, right? Within the, meeting times, oh, it selected everything. My bad. All right. Within meeting times, you'll see the classes, right? So, when you will have these different classes for the course, basically. So this is a lab. I purposefully look for a lab. Right, so here it says that you have a lab on Monday. So this stream has labs on Monday from 9 to around 1. From 9 a.m. to around 1. So it says 12:59, basically 1. Right? and the main instructor is Mark Lawrence, right? So we're gonna have this information here. So through this, you'll be able to really understand which time is best for you, which time you want the course to happen on, right? And go through all of these intricacies. And you'll be also able to look at different attributes depending on whether or not the course has an attribute there, and you'll be able to just add. So in order to add, you just click on add, right? And then when you click on add though, you're going to see it come up within a summary here. And you should also see it come up shaded here. All right. So we're looking at that there. Just give me one moment. Let me try to add one of these labs that are not clashing. All right. So I have added this lab here. And notice that's Wednesday to around 6. All right. So it says here web registered, meaning that you haven't actually registered for it. It just says web registered, right? So it's basically in that intermediate area. It has been selected but not completely submitted. In order to do that, you'd have to click on the submit button to get through it. But a number of errors may show up. All right. So here we see our first course code. Well, our first error, right? So this says 1811 CRN whatever. So this CRN speaks to a specific course, right? So Chem 1811 is the introductory lab, right? But the CRN speaks to that specific lab on that specific day. So for this specific course, we need a co-requisite Chem 1820 required. So this basically states that, if you're gonna do this lab, you need to complete 1820, right? So it's something like that. So you need to attach all these different courses together for it to work successfully, right? So if I am to look at that, right, we can look for 1820, right? So here's 1820, Introductory Chemistry 2, right? And you'll be able to select from this, right? So here we have a lecture here actually, right? So, and I explained each category already, so that's a lecture. And each lecture usually comes with a tutorial. So in order to register for 1820, you need to select one lecture and one tutorial, right? And that would satisfy the core requisite for the lab 1811. Once you have all of those things, then you submit, right? So yeah, then you submit. I won't be able to really do that, right? Because I already selected my courses and I'm going to get an error that speaks about credits, right? So on RVLE specifically, well, not on RVLE, my bad. On the registration site, right, you're going to be able to look at basically a guide on different types of errors, right? So it's important that you look through it. So when you get an error, just look at the specific error that you have, right? So that should be really important for you to look at. So a while ago, we got a course requisite error, and it speaks to the fact that a student must sit another one of the courses within that same semester. So it's something like that, right? So when you get the different errors, then you look for the different errors here, and then look at the different criteria descriptions and how you overcome those, right? If you have an error specifically and it can't really be overturned, right? Or let's say that you're waiting on your CSET grades or your CAPE grades or whatever, you're gonna need to request an override, right? So how overrides generally work, what we're going to be looking at is that we're gonna receive that error. I got the error a while ago, as we saw, right? So in order for us to basically get that override though, we're going to need to go back to registration, right? We're gonna need to select a specific term. So here at select term, the course I got the error from was semester 1. So we're gonna select semester 1, and we should be able to click here, request for course error overrides, right? So here you can request that override, right? So I requested an override here, right, just to make sure that it was working. So basically the course that you have an error with should show up here, and you should be able to write a specific note here to the lecture, right? And then you just submit, and then you'll get this. Now, overrides are generally done manually by the lecturer or by the person in charge of the specific course, right? So note that for specifically for me now, it's summer, right? So once the lecturers get back to doing this, then they will go through the information, go through the amount of overrides, and approve the overrides that needed to, well, that needs to be approved, basically, right? So it's something generally like that. So that is generally the understanding of how to use the banner system, right? Any other curious questions persons may have, let's say, like if we remove the course number, what that will generally do is just generate all courses within chemistry, from preliminary chemistry to advanced chemistry and master's level, I guess graduate level chemistry, right? So if you don't put in a specific course number, it will just generate all the courses. So be mindful of that. Right, there are a few errors that you're just generally gonna need an override for, right? For example, when you're looking at your faculty override, let's say that you're a site student and you want to do psychology and it says a faculty override, then you're gonna have to like request an override for that. There are certain things that you'll have to request an override for, right? And there are certain things like prerequisite test score errors that will be alleviated as the university gets your grades and processes them, right? So that was basically a tiny overview of what generally the understanding of banner 9 and how it works with, right? Or how it generally works, and the SAS services and how we register for different courses. If there are any questions or concerns, feel free to just type a question in the chat, well in the comment section, I mean. Alright, and I'll see if I can make just a mini tutorial of how to do specific stuff. Right, so if it speaks about registering, deregistering, right, generally applying for overrides and stuff like that, then I'll see how best I can assist. Right, so that's it. Thanks for watching.